we are very disturbed by what is coming out of our capital city. The demolitions at 4 o'clock at Gikomba market are inhuman, they are disheartening, and we condemn them unreservedly. Why on earth would you want to disturb people at 4 o'clock in the morning if you are doing anything lawful? And yet we remember it was at that same Gikomba where William Ruto the other day went and said he was putting there a market. So this inhuman treatment of Kenyans by an uncaring administration of Kenya Kwanza needs unreservedly to be condemned. We stand with the people who are affected. We will insist on compensation and whatever. I remember, in fact, when we last visited Gikomba, Wakili Njiru had obtained a court order stopping them from carrying out those demolitions. But we are going to talk about that as we go on. But because we are in Wote, and they say all politics is local, we are urging our people to come out and take out those voters' cards. And not just here in Wote, but everywhere in the country. They say they are doing that in all the 1,450 wards in the country. And so we want to really encourage young people in particular, whose time it is now to register, to come out. But we also told there are many others who are without IDs. Na mtu amezaliwa hapa Wote, anaenda kuuliza apatiwe angalau kipande ndio aende akachukue kura, naambiwa leta barua ya chief. Leta barua ya chief. But I want to thank Mheshimiwa Muturi Jr. because he's decentralized his huduma thing. Anabeba machief, anabeba wale wengine wanaenda pale. Others who are recently married and they want to change their status, wanapatiwa affidavit there on the spot. So I want to urge that hii kazi endelee kabisa, ndio watu wapate vitambulisho na pia wapate voters cards. We recognize the initiative by the agencies. We don't want to enter their space when they say tuko kadi. Hata sisi pia tuna tuko kadi, lakini wao, it is an initiative and we know it is paying because they are coming out in 2023 here in Wote. I remember it so clearly. They could not allow us in a lawful demonstration to enter Wote. They sent police up to Makueni to make sure we didn't cross the river into Wote. And we were mishandled, and Kenyans here were beaten. We lost lives here, young people in Wote. I want to urge those parents, the parents of those young people who were killed in 2023, to come out and present their claims now before the Kenya National Human Rights Commission. I hope by now Kenyans notice that the Macau Mutua-led thing was a cropper. It became a cropper. Because they were told them in the first place, you cannot do it that way. We have the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, whose responsibility it is to handle these matters of human rights abuses. So as the William Ruto administration now has owned up to abductions, to killing, to destroying property, Nairobi Central Business, and they are continuing. We hope this matter of Gikomba in particular will now join this long list of people who must be adequately compensated. So we urge the people of Makueni, Kitui, and Machakos, where we are in this region, to really now do the necessary, come out. And as they do, we see there's a break kwa mvua kidogo. Andumezo vies bado kwa kila niliambusi zina kiuo ondo bado kwa nambanga tukwenda kuwa ndwange ni mato wene kiuo kwanza thinola munene ni ukona usi wenda ukila usi andu izina ku yeye mani kuyo tuko webo we kuwa ne kiuo tezeke umaba kwa andumezo vie Mheshimiwa Gachagua understands exactly what I've said. Now you can be the interpreter to your other cousin here, Eugene Wamalwa. Just telling people to be careful. Lakini ngona vinda nesioyu andumayombani anamiondani tuko na mwegete bidii. You know the people Makueni, ndugu Rigijin, ndugu Eugene, and my brother Tony, these are fruit farmers. Hey, the level of horticulture in this place, mango farmers, and they grow oranges like nowhere else. All they need to do is a proper value addition. They're doing that. We understand this last crop was not very successful. Mheshimiwa Governor, let us prepare in the future to make sure that people get maximum benefit out of their shambas. Maembe yao, machungwa yao, na vile vile tukisonga mbele in that areas. We talked about Thwake Dam yesterday, and this administration have decided they are not going to complete what President Uhuru Kenyatta did. I remember I was there with him when he actually launched or was coming on an inspection tour of Thwake Dam. Thwake Dam is an important investment in this country. It will help our farmers to grow even on the other side of Kitui, out of the river, because the river inapitia kule na Thwake River, giving adequate water supply, not only to the growing water city, but also to Konza city, a city that Kibaki bequeathed this nation, the technopolis, the techno city of Konza. It will require adequate water, and we know that we will have to do some serious piping, huge pipes, to be able to grow Konza city. So that is what I wanted to say, in welcoming my brothers here to also make some comments. Ndugu Rigiji.
Thank you very much. I must say that I'm very excited to be the lad of my cousins. Since yesterday we arrived here to very warm and rousing welcome.
They gave you mobokoi, did they?
Yeah. We've enjoyed very sweet mangoes. I woke up early this morning around 6 to walk around in the villages and found my cousins are up and about, very industrious people, very hardworking. That is the spirit. And I did say in Kirinyaga on Sunday that SHA, that monster created by William Ruto to rip off the Kenyan nation, we have credible information from experts that it will collapse within 6 months. Since then, Aden Duale has been ranting and writing tweets after every 5 minutes the whole night and posting videos crying that all is well. From our first rally in Tower all the way through Kikima to Wote, I did ask a question to the people of Makueni whether SHA is working, and the answer was no. Yet Aden Duale keeps on saying that SHA is working. But we are on the ground, and our work is to listen to the ground. The people of Makueni, like the rest of Kenyans, know that SHA is a failure. And SHA will collapse because it was not a program to sort out health insurance, but a scheme to rip off the people of Kenya. Aden Duale did challenge me to give information and facts as to what I said. And I've seen he was busy the whole night crying. Let him stop crying. He needs to preserve those tears because what is coming is much more. And will continue every day. And I want to thank the people of Kenya, especially public servants, civil servants who are disgruntled by what is happening in Kenya, the theft of public resources, wanton corruption, misappropriation of public funds. They keep on giving us information. I want to assure them that we will treat the information with confidentiality and will not expose them so that they are not exposed to harm by the state. Before the launch of SHA, NHIF had proposed that they be provided with 800 million Kenya shillings to create a new system to upgrade the system that they had to make it compliant to the present times. Instead, William Ruto, with a scheme to loot funds from the people of Kenya, scrapped off NHIF and brought SHA. And a system was procured at a cost of 104 billion Kenya shillings. NHIF had indicated that they only needed 800 million Kenya shillings to upgrade the system. A consortium was created, and in this consortium there was Apero Limited with 59.85% shares. This Apero is associated with Adani. Then Safaricom Kenya Limited, 22.56%. Then Convergence Network Solutions Limited with 17.89%. Aden Duale did ask me to provide details from the registrar of companies showing that his name is not there. He thinks Kenyans are full. His name cannot be there. The director is Abdullahi Abdi Sheikh, who is a proxy of Aden Duale. Duale, you cannot ask us to produce a CR12 showing your name. We know you. Abdullahi Abdi Sheikh is the same with Aden Bare Duale. They are one and the same. This consortium procured the system from Savannah Informatics at a cost of 1 billion Kenya shillings. The rest of the money, 103 billion, was stolen by Ruto and Duale and company. The whole system costed 1 billion shillings, which is more or less what the defunct NHIF had proposed, because they had put it at 800 million. IT experts from the defunct NHIF were relocated to Dubai, where they are running this system. Every second of the month, Convergence Network Solutions Limited receives 600 million, and Aden Duale makes sure that they are paid promptly without failure, because this is money that they are stealing from the people of Kenya. And it's a shame that hospitals have rendered services to patients across the country have not been paid, and they are owed billions of shillings. But this company owned by Duale is paid on the 2nd of every month. And what is even more interesting, to conceal their intentions, this money is paid through Digital Health Agency, whose executive chairman is Silas Matwa. Silas Matwa is a business partner of William Ruto and runs Amaco Insurance on his behalf. So this theft in SHA is a scheme by William Ruto and Aden Duale. Why is the money paid through Digital Health Agency, whose executive chairman is Silas Matwa? Is to conceal the movement of funds so that it looks like it's government to government. So what we are saying is that SHA was never conceived to be a program to help the people of Kenya. It was a conduit to steal funds from the people of Kenya. Kenyans are being taxed every day, and this money is being stolen by William Ruto, Aden Duale, and company through their proxies, Silas Matwa, and others. Again, I did talk about e-citizen, and I said when I was in office, William Ruto was very angry that e-citizen was in private hands, and he demanded that it must be brought under government control by the Ministry of ICT and the National Treasury. And he caused a lot of fury and demanded that that should happen. Little did I know this was a scheme to smoke out the owner so that he can negotiate with them. And when they eventually presented themselves, he demanded that they cede 80% of the company to him through a proxy called Linus Kipngetich. Again, Linus Kipngetich, who is now working in State House, holds 190,000 shares in Amaco on behalf of William Ruto. And it is him who withdrew 6.3 billion shillings in cash from Equity, from the e-citizen account. It's a shame that in Kenyatta National Hospital, patients pay for their stay there through e-citizen, but no funds are remitted back to the hospital to help the patients, to buy drugs, to buy reagents, and to buy food. Indeed, patients in Kenyatta National Hospital are not dying because of the disease that brought them to hospital, but they are dying for lack of food. It's a shame. So as we speak, we are excited to be here in Makueni because the people are resolute that they want to be part and parcel of the forthcoming liberation of the Republic of Kenya. And we are very encouraged from what we have seen, and we want to assure the people of Makueni, and indeed the entire country, that we are clear that we will do what they want. They want us to give them a single presidential candidate to face William Ruto. That determination from our part as leaders is firm, and nothing can change. I want to assure the people of Kenya that on a daily basis, we'll continue to expose William Ruto and his government on all the evil things that are going on in the country. We will not be intimidated by personal attacks and attempts to divert us from what we need to do for the people of Kenya. Finally, let me also join the Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka in expressing disgust and horror at what happened in the middle of the night at Gikomba. When we were campaigning with William Ruto, I was running it. We made a firm undertaking to the people of Kenya that in the new administration, demolitions and evictions will never happen. And if they have to happen, the people being evicted must first be relocated to their new places of occupation. We also did agree that no demolition and eviction will ever be done at night. I started differing with William Ruto, our second year in office, when he went against what we had agreed and started a systematic program of evicting people from their land and from where they have lived for life. What happened last night is inhuman, it's brutal, it's unacceptable. It is persecution of small traders. And we ask him, William Ruto, we know, we understand your frustration that Kenyans want to send you home to be a one-term president. But why are you at war with the Kenyans? You are at war with the Kenyans. Why do you release policemen and other people with such vicious brutality in the middle of the night to persecute the people of Kenya? The purported arrest of Sakaja was diversionary. It was a red herring. It was meant to divert attention as cruel and inhuman actions were being planned by William Ruto and the police. I want to ask the traders to take heart and to appreciate that difficult as things are, our day is coming. And we have a date with William Ruto next year on the 10th of August. And we must put an end to these inhuman and brutal acts against innocent Kenyans who are trying to eke out a living. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa Eugene.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very grateful to our host, His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, for inviting us to this beautiful part of the lower eastern part of Kenya. And we want to thank His Excellency Governor Muturi Jr., Governor Wavinya, and the entire leadership of Ukambani for their great hospitality. We had a great day yesterday, all the way. We had almost 7 stopovers. And the warmth, the reception, the hospitality was exceptional. Not to mention the cuisine here. We're very, very pleased to be in Ukambani. But though we are happy to be here, we're not so happy about what happened last night, as His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka and His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua have said. We got very sad news about what happened in Gikomba last night. As lawyers, we know that certain operations, including enforcement of court orders, must be done within specified hours. They cannot be carried out during ungodly hours. We saw what happened in Gikomba yesterday. We saw what happened at Dari, Honorable Tuju's place, people raiding private property at 3 o'clock, very ungodly hours. And all this points out, apart from what happened at Nairobi Hospital, a private enterprise being taken over by a so-called patron, all this points out to the need to reset this nation and set our feet back on the path of the rule of law and constitutionalism. That cannot happen as long as William Ruto is president. That is why we're all saying he must be one term so that we get our country back on track. We want to say we welcome the mass voter registration by IEBC that kicked off yesterday. We were able to look at what was happening in this part of the country, to interact with registration officers here. We've also been getting reports across the country in all the 47 counties. And we want to embrace the Tuko Card initiative by our young people. We're seeing the turnout is very, very impressive. And we want to encourage our Gen Z to come out in large numbers in this county and in the whole country so that they can prepare to be part of that historic election that is coming, that will see the first president to become a one-term president being William Samoei Ruto. We urge IEBC to address the challenges. The reports we are getting is there are operational challenges, there are technical challenges in some areas where the kits were not working. In some areas, we have very few equipment compared to the large numbers of the young people who are turning up. As the People's Alternative Government, we are very concerned because when IEBC started this process, the turnout was very low. The young people of Kenya were very cynical, and they were not willing to come out. Out of the targeted 6 million voters that the IEBC aims to register, they were only able to register about 260,000. But since the Tuko Card initiative started, we are seeing numbers surging. And this is why we all want to encourage our young people. If you're a parent in this country and you want change, and you have an 18-year-old in your house, please get them out. Encourage them to go and get these IDs and to register. The next 30 days are going to be very important in terms of adding the numbers that will send William Ruto home and bring change to our country. So whatever is there must be addressed by IEBC. We engaged with IEBC as the alternative government a few weeks ago. Amongst the concerns we raised were certain irreducible minimums. One of those was that the CEO and the entire team that bungled the last election, headed by Marjan, must go. Indeed, they were able to terminate Marjan's contract, but that is not enough. We're telling IEBC our second irreducible minimum was mathematics. That discredited Venezuelan technology that has been put in question in the US, and latest evidence shows that the credibility of that technology is questionable, and it will affect the integrity of our elections. We cannot afford another bungled election in our country. So even from Makueni here, we want to demand that our second irreducible minimum is termination of this mathematics contract. And since IEBC has not responded, we've gone ahead and filed a case in court. We intend to pursue this matter. And we ask the Honorable, the Chief Justice, to fast track and to prioritize all matters touching on elections. As we speak, the first step by IEBC now is the mass voter registration. The third reducible minimum, we said we demanded from IEBC a clear roadmap. After the next 30 days, you've done the mass voter registration. What next? We're entering the month of April. You had said by end of March, during our meeting, you are going to host a stakeholders conference where you will present to us a clear roadmap. Beginning 10th of August 2027, working backwards. There are constitutional timelines. There's statutory deadlines that must be complied with. So we would like to demand, even as you embark on this mass voter registration, Chairman Ethicon and your commission, that we must engage as soon as possible in the next 14 days so that we look at that roadmap, even as the mass voter registration is going on, so that we're able to address the concerns, not just arising from the exercise that began yesterday, but arising from our meeting and the concerns we raised at the alternative government. Indeed, I've listened to the Honorable Rigadi speaking about the matter of Shah. I listened and watched Honorable Duale speak last night, and I want to tell Bwana Duale not to trivialize the matter of Shah, not to reduce it to a banter between him as CS and the second deputy president. We want you to say, to listen to what, not just what His Excellency Gachagua has raised the concerns, listen to what the court ruled just a few days ago. Justin Wamuya was very clear. We had 3 Adani deals, JKIA, we had Ketraco, and we had Shah. And one of the companies in Shah that Honorable Gachagua has referred to was actually Adani's company. The president dropped only 2 of the Adani deals. That was Ketraco and JKIA. He never dropped Shah. And Shah is where he and Duale and his cronies are making the money. In the ruling of the High Court, there were concerns raised about how this system was procured, about the justification for this system, about private entities being involved in the system that touches on an Article 43 right of access to health by Kenyans. So, Bwana Duale, don't trivialize these matters. These are matters of life and death, and we want these concerns addressed. And we're not just talking about Shah and the court ruling. Parliament, which is an institution that provides oversight, also addressed the same issues. Chairman Dr. Nyikal is a broad-based member, and from his submission, Dr. Nyikal was very clear that this Shah system is failing. Experts have shown His Excellency Gachagua that it might fail in the next 6 months or so, but a parliamentary committee of health found that this system is unsustainable. This system is unreliable. This system is untenable. So we're not talking about personalities. We're talking about institutions, the judiciary, parliament raising issues with Shah. We're talking about the church raising issues. When Duale came to Kakamega, there's an 100-year-old hospital called St. Mary's Mumias. It never failed during the colonial times, or Jomo Kenyatta times, or Moi, or Kibaki, or Ruto's time, or Uhuru's time. It failed when Shah came to town, a 100-year hospital. So we want to say, let this matter be addressed with the urgency it deserves and the importance it deserves. And we're not just talking about Shah. Bwana Duale, we know that even in Smartmatics, your name was mentioned. And in every system, whether it is Shah, where we are talking about 104 billion, Smartmatics, and you and Gulie have been mentioned. When we are demanding that this system the contract be terminated, we know your hand is there too. So don't just focus on Shah. We also know the wider role you have played as William Ruto's friend. Talk about integrity. How do you reduce a matter as important as a health matter to a family matter? You want to attack Honorable Gachagua's family and his brother's estate, which is a matter that has been handled by our courts under the Succession Act. And the president goes on to also trivialize the matter and talk about the Wamalwa Kijana estate that is before the court under succession case number 25-6 that is ongoing. It has a ruling by Justice Muchelule. So what we are saying from Makueni here is that there are serious, vital matters of national importance that must be addressed, and we are not going to fall in the trap of falling into the insults of this president. The insults are meant to divert us, to distract our attention, and will not fall into that. There are serious issues that this government should be addressing. Here in Makueni, the lower eastern region of this country for a long time has been getting relief food. But we have a Vision 2030 project here, the Thwake Dam. that can transform this region of Ukambani into a new breadbasket. I was privileged as Minister for Water right here at this hotel to meet the Ukambani leadership. We went and launched Thwake, and we progressed that project to almost 80% completion by the time Uhuru and I left office. Since William Ruto entered, he has not done anything to progress to completion this key Vision 2030 project. We have 4 years to go to Vision 2030 ending. So stop trivializing matters, reducing these things into insults, focus on the real issues that will transform this county and this country and address the concerns that we have raised. Otherwise, Kenyans have decided, Bwana Ruto, you are going to be a one-term president. And it's not a bad thing. We want you to know that there are presidents who have left presidency and lived comfortably. Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi left presidency and he lived in this country. Mwai Kibaki left presidency and lived in this country. Uhuru Kenyatta is enjoying his golf after leaving office. It's not a matter of life and death for you to think sending you home one term will be the end of the world. It will not. Come 10th of August 2027, we are sending you home. Not because we hate you, but because of your failed policies in health, failed policies in education, the runaway corruption, the overtaxation of Kenyans. We have said, like other Kenyans, William Ruto, you'll be a one-term president. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, JB has just come in. He was enjoying his hometown.
Thank you. Let me join my colleagues in thanking our hosts, led by Governor Muturi Kalonzo Jr. and His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka. I will be brief in echoing the sentiments, the concerns raised by my colleagues. Just to point out one thing, that we are not asking for anything that is unusual. Just asking for transparency. What His Excellency Gachagua raised with regard to SHA, as many Kenyans will recall, is a matter that I raised from the beginning when William Ruto and his former CS Nakumicha came up with a plot when they were crafting the laws that anchor this SHA nonsense. It is true that a lot is opaque, and as many Kenyans will know, those in the sector, health sector, have raised the issue that when it started, purportedly as a very robust system, they were even showing the list of institutions that were receiving payments. The moment Kenyans and the Auditor General raised a flag about those very tiny things that were being paid for in Mandera, in Wajir, that never existed, suddenly that screen is no longer available to Kenyans. It's no wonder then that attempts are being made to acquire Nairobi Hospital, so that now even if you are told huge sums of money are being paid in Nairobi Hospital, you will not question. That is the thinking and the mindset of one William Kipchirchir Arap Ruto. That is the design. It's no wonder again, even as our young people come up with their own design program of encouraging each other to register as voters by the clarion call of Nico Kandi. William Ruto mistakenly, again, mistakenly assumed it was just like another song of two term. So he also said he's Nico Kandi. Only to be reminded by the young people that actually his, and I like thanking my brother Gachagua, told him he's a red one. So suddenly he has coiled, amerudisha mkia kwa miguu, because he realized that he was jumping on the wrong bandwagon. Ile candy, for him, is a red one, which means 10th of August, back to Sugoi. But there are many reasons. We've said as the alternative government, which is what we are supposed to be, to point out what government is not doing or what it is doing wrongly. We pointed out that William Ruto, in your desperate effort to cling to office, you have denigrated the sanctity of national identification documents, such as the national identity card and the passport, by issuing the Kenyan passport or authorizing the issuance of Kenyan passport to criminals in Sudan, the RSF. We also know, as a result of your indulgence with the RSF, Kenyan tea farmers are now suffering. They cannot export their tea to the Sudan because the Sudan government cannot understand how we can entertain a criminal gang here in Kenya, give them even Kenyan travel documents, nationality documents, and then wish that we can continue doing business with them. We just got reports not too long ago about the amount of tea, Kenyan tea, that is lying at Mombasa. Now that there's a crisis in the Middle East, William Ruto, of course, would want to hide behind that crisis. But we are telling him, you began causing this crisis much earlier by your engagement through your greed, insatiable greed, with the RSF of Sudan. And indeed, we are going to point out these things because it is our duty. William Ruto would also want from Makueni here to demand you show the payments that SHA is making on a daily basis through your minister, Ede Duale. The issue raised by the Honorable Gachagua is a very monumental issue because Kenyans are paying through their noses to SHA, and the funds they are paying are being siphoned to those shady companies. We also want to demand here from here William Ruto, and we want to put to give notice to the Chinese government. William Ruto, tell us, what is the magic? What is the magic that a company called CRBC plays in Kenya? That it is the one and the only Chinese company that gets all the contracts. Talanta Stadium, Bomas of Kenya, Rironi Mau Summit, the NSF structure that is being done opposite the GPO, the Railway City, which even cost, as His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua pointed out, the other company which had gotten lower to be deported and procedurally in the middle of the night. So William Ruto, we know what you are doing with CRBC. And we want to put on notice the Chinese government that this team is very serious. We will revisit because we cannot sit when Kenyans are being milked to death by William Ruto through this Chinese company. I really wish to thank the people of Makueni and the people of Lower Eastern for giving us such a rousing welcome since yesterday. Thank you. God bless.
No, JB, these people are not Lower Eastern anymore. They are Mount Kenya South. We have heard those very heavy things. We must give the apologies of our two friends, the Honorable Mother Karua, who actually she's been traveling quite a lot in Kampala, She is part of all this effort. And our brother Fred Matiang'i, who was with us yesterday. The late member for Kalau, was actually a Jubilee member, and I think he is trying to do something about the families. Kwa hivyo, just additionally, Vision 2030 project, Thwake Dam. The other Vision 2030 project is the High Grand Falls Dam. And Ruto is killing it. Actually, he's managed to kill that one. I think it's in Mheshimiwa Nzengu's constituency, the border between Tana River, Tharaka Nithi County and Kitui counties. So if there are any questions, we recognize our friends here, Ben Momanyi, all the way from Nyamira. And of course, Gichopevu was with us yesterday. Malala. Hey, well done. Kijana mwingine wa Ingo. Thank you so much. If there's any question, we'll take it. Kama hakuna, tawashukuru. I think that was a very detailed briefing.
I think it's very exhaustive.
Yeah, very exhaustive. And in fact, the only thing, listening to Rigiji, Eugene, and JB, the only thing Kenyans may have now to think of is, do we wait until next year, or do we go to the streets now? Hey, imefika hapo. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
This one.